surreal. This all nothing but a surreal nightmare. But after everything, should this even surprise me? Ghosts, curses, hidden passages. I can't ever bring myself to vocally question anything anymore in spite of a number of them already swimming inside my head. As a kid, I used to crave for this kind of adventure. The stuff of mystery and detective novels, daring cases and interesting cases to solve, suspects to put behind bars, justice to serve. I was blinded, I admit. Now I simply want this to be over.
You really believe it'll be that easy, don't you?
I pause, mid-step, confused. Warily, I look around, searching wildly for the source. A long minute passes, no one speaks again. Breathing out a sigh of relief, I simply continue. This time treading lightly, careful not to make a sound. Up ahead, I can already glimpse a set of stairs that must lead to the kitchen. Getting unnoticed in the wine cellar's not a problem, but if someone's upstairs when I pop up, well, to say it'll be complicated might be a little bit of an understatement, especially if that butler's in there. Zach wasn't even able to put up a fight. If I get caught, no one else will be able to fix this.
See? So full of yourself, aren't you?
This time, I'm sure. There's really a voice. Well, voices. Despite standing only a few paces away from the exit, I find myself stopping and looking for it. Searching the immediate surrounding for the familiar form of the woman, I don't even have to venture too far from where I'm standing. Just an arm's length away from me, a mirror stands. And from it, they speak. All singing the same mocking tune against my ears, letting it echo through the small undercroft. Murmurs and laughters, jeering, scoffing, deriding. Lacing venom into every crevice in my head. Taunting me.
Look at you, mouthing off like some hero. You can't even fix your own silly little problems. You haven't really changed, have you?
Useless.
Pathetic.
You're wrong.
My mistakes. My mistake lies in the first instance I've answered. The very second denial has slipped from my mouth, their words have also seeped into my heart, allowing it to prod and rouse my temper. Despite knowing they are merely doing this to goad me, each word, each syllable, trickle into me, spurring the guilt I've hoped I've long buried.
Are we? Or is that simply what you've been telling yourself all this time?
Wonder why they're all blurry.
Something to make yourself feel better, perhaps?
What about Zach? Wrongfully accused, and you couldn't even get him out.
What about Becca? Oh, the way she fell to her death, but all you did was watch. Someone's dead because of you.
You're the one who took that letter off Isabella's hand that day. You're the one who opened it.
How does it feel, I wonder, to know you're responsible for all of this? For their deaths!
What do you think I'm doing? Why do you think I'm still trying to fix this?
Oh, but you can't. It's already too late, and you know that. You know all of this is futile.
Just face it, Ashton Frey. You're a failure, and they are the ones who have to pay for it.
A badge and a gun, and you still can't protect your own friends. Can't even solve a case for an old man.
Can't even bring Luke right to justice.
Can't even keep his own family together. No wonder they left you, before you do the same thing to them.
Mom and Dad are better off without little old you, aren't they? It's a good thing they had the sense.
Pitiful, isn't it? Some detective you are, some friend you are, some son you are. You might as well just throw that rank away. You're no use to people either way.
Shut it!
I hate this. Okay. This has actually kind of confirmed some thoughts that I've had in my head about two different things. One about Ash and the way, and a lot of the different things about his personality stemming from, I guess, blaming himself for his parents' separation. And with this particular mirror, that I think I'd maybe have thought something about it before, but like the way it's, I don't know if the mirror is cursed, but there's some, or if the ghost is like using the mirror. I don't know which it is, if the ghost, or if a ghost is trapped in the mirror, or how it is, but it's showing the person that looks in it like their guilt and stuff. Or I'm not sure how to describe it.
Yeah, that's why McCullough saw the girl.
And that's why it embodied that way. I hate this. I know how this monster can easily get through to me. Every weakness, every insecurity, it knows. To hear it said in my friend's voice is even more so. But what I hate above all of this is...
You know it's true, though.
All of it. It's why all you can do is tell us to shut up. You don't want to hear a single word, because you're already aware of it. You can't even admit it to yourself. Who's the coward now?
But no matter how hard you try, you're not gonna be able to save anyone.
Shut it! Not a single word anymore!
It laughs, sharp and piercing as its sound. Something in me snaps, a rage hastily unfurling, red filling my vision. And the next thing I know, I'm raising my hand and my fist connects to its surface. It shatters, renting the air with an ear-splitting crack, sending fragments of it on the floor. The fog in my mind lifts. Every sound, every noise returns to me, flooding my every senses, all at once. There is this deafening silence. Slowly, I become aware of my surroundings. Bottles of wine, barrels of liquor, the faint old scent of death and decay somewhere, and the small cuts at the back of my fingers. Blood drips from each digit, trailing down my wrist until it disappears behind my sleeve or falls to the floor. Not too deep, negligible even.
I have a question. Wasn't the mirror already broken? Because wasn't it a piece of mirror that Marianne cut her throat with?
I thought it was bottle.
Oh.
Or just glass or something.
Okay, I don't remember.
Know.
For some reason.
No, the mirror's been fine.
Oh, okay.
I wonder what would happen if we chose the other thing with Marianne, how this would have played, because... Like, if she rejected it, would she have just up and left? Would she have broken the mirror? I don't know what would have happened with her.
I don't know. For some reason, I thought it was a piece of the mirror that she cut her throat with.
I feel like... something, like, that seemed really strange to have all those dungeon cells. I'm wondering if there was something we could have done that may have ended up putting other characters in them, because they're empty, because everyone's dead. And Hannah left. Or supposedly she's leaving. I'm really interested to know what would be different if we did other choices. There is a pain, however, a different kind, an ache somewhere else that stems not from the wound, but where every single word has hit. On the ground, shards lie lifeless now. No more voices, no more insults. But even as I walk away, one whispered taunt continues to ring in my ears.
It's useless, Ashton Frey. You are going to die.
And you are going to die alone!
A fear. One that has been long kept in the darkest place in my heart. One that a small part of me wishes for. The trapdoor swings open without much fuss. It isn't even locked, probably left open for when the Wrights asked for some midnight snack, and make sure the coast is clear, of course, before I pull myself up. The butler of theirs is nowhere to be seen. He's probably sleeping, attending to his master, or doing some extra late-night work before turning in for the night. Meanwhile, Wright won't touch anything to do with menial chores, not even with a 10-foot pole. It's next to impossible for him to linger here.
Thunder's loud.
No servants. No anyone. just as easy as that, I'm in. Gently, I close the hatch. If things go well, the same path will be my way out. Really? How would you get out that way? If my luck doesn't hold, that's not an option now, is it?
Well, I think he's thinking he would sneak out instead of, like, walking out the front door where all the security is.
Yeah, but I mean, he goes down there, and he's gonna try and
Climb
climb
out.
up. I imagine the hole's in the middle of the arched ceiling of the hallway corridor thing, so, like, how are you gonna get out of that? I don't know. But anyway, I have people waiting for me. I really don't want to think what might happen. Sometimes it's best if I simply revel in little victories. They're great blessings when everything else is going against you. And in a place like this, fraught with unknown dangers, it's a feeling that lasts only but a second. Suddenly, a sob. Ringing out from some distant part of the house, echoing through its empty halls. My shoulders immediately tenses. Hairs racing at the back of my neck as a sudden chill passes. This, despite myself and the beliefs I've long held. Because as much as I want to convince myself that nothing's wrong, my experience tells a wholly different story.
What are the chances I'll be able to leave this place alive?
100%.
I was just saying, you want to make a bet? Except that'd be really bad because we're in control of that. I want to be optimistic about it, really. However, I'm going against something almost everyone can't quite understand. I'm just being realistic with my chances. Beyond the walls of this room, the cries continue to grow louder. A ragged draw of breath. Heavy with apprehension, I slip out of the door. Like a siren call, her voice beckons. Finding out who that is seems a good place to start as any. I keep to the shadows for the most part. Not that there's any need to, the entire place just feels empty. Odd, when a house this big should have a large staff.
It's midnight.
You'd think there'll be one or two roaming around. They're about for some late night chores or someone seeking out whoever's creating this ruckus. There's none, however.
Shouldn't they have security posted inside as well?
Unless their security means the butler. Though I doubt Scumbag's that sloppy. He loves his life more than anything. Probably more than his own wife. And the things he's done, he's bound to make more than an enemy or two. He's also the kind who'll do anything to keep himself safe. Alive.
I wonder what he'll say when he finds out that there's something not human living with him in his own house.
Potential dangers aside, being on my own grants me a greater degree of mobility, which I'm more comfortable with. With no tag along, I only have to worry about myself. Watch my back. Selfish, I know.
But necessary.
In the same manner, this whole plan is, no matter how idiotic going into this. Besides, I don't really need to guide when the house's layout is fairly simple. Almost mirrored, with only a few modifications in the rooms. Although I've only been here once, I think I've already gotten a good grasp of this place's ins and outs. As long as you can tell which is east and west, it shouldn't be hard to find my way around. After the dining room, the main foyer should be the next thing that greets me. Where the woman's cries are leading me. Honestly, whatever happened outside, I'm not sure if I should be trusting what I'm hearing. But with the whole house somehow seemingly devoid of its inhabitants, I'm inclined to look into this. More than surviving this curse, a huge part of this is my training speaking.
I just hope this isn't a crime scene I'm walking into.
But nothing's ever that simple, is it? Not when you're dealing with the supernatural. Nope. Because as soon as my feet cross the next room, something shifts. In a flash, nearly without fanfare, It happens in the blink of an eye. I almost miss it.
I have a thought. You know how like people like they've seen the room like this before, but then it'll flash back to like normal.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of makes me think of like the Upside Down, where like it's like a different.
A different world of the same thing.
Yeah, like a different reality, kind of, or like it was this way in the past, and she's just like dragging them back to it, kind of. The ghost is.
Shadow realm.
And so I'm just very curious. Like, I would assume that way something actually happened in this room to make it so bloody. But like, holy cow, it's everywhere. Like, it's on the ceiling. How do you get blood on the ceiling in this room? Let's find out.
Well, in Quentin Tarantino movies, you just cut an artery.
Yeah. Fair enough.
It happens in the blink of an eye. I almost miss it. One moment, there's red. And in the next. That was a long moment. I'm standing alone in the foyer.
Foyer.
For a brief instant, I pause. Glancing wildly around the place, blinking twice as if my movements will spur the vision back. Yet, nothing. No blood dripping on the walls. No trailing down the stairs or pulled on the floor. No eyes watching my every movement. Only the same cries, gradually growing in intensity the longer I delay, along with a voice. Desperate.
Where are you, Mother?
Pleading.
Mother, please. I don't want to be alone.
Sounds like Hannah. Coming from the same direction I've heard the cries from. Upstairs. The place is not entirely empty then. Better question now is who? Definitely not Scumbag or the butler. I've yet to see hide nor hair of them, and not knowing their whereabouts puts me on edge. I have to be careful not to make any noise or be seen. Maybe the wife? Though one can't really tell if it's her, the way the walls echo her voice. Nevertheless, it pushes me to move. Taking almost 2 steps at a time, despite the sickening feeling that something's lurking behind every great shadow, every small corner I pass. As if the house has several eyes watching me every moment. As if something alive dwells behind the walls itself. I try to shake it off. But the uneasy sensation has made home at the pit of my stomach, dread, and it only grows deeper the closer I get to her. The relative emptiness of the place doesn't help either. Neither does the harsh wind battering the windows, nor the sheets of rain pelting down the roof.
Did it say what wing we were in? I wasn't paying attention to the location.
I wasn't either.
Oh.
We're headed to the attic.
Well, I just remember the one room at the end of the hall was locked before. And we never knew what was in there.
I know on one of them it was the master bedroom. I don't remember what it was on the other side of the house, though.
Right.
For a fleeting second, I find myself wishing for Scumbag to simply show up. I don't get too far down into that train of thought. Abruptly, the cries stop. Replacing it with,
Mother, please. She's here. She's here, Mother. She's going to take me. She won't leave, Mother. Mother, I don't want to go with her. Tell her to go away. Mother! Mother, she's here! Help!
that can't be good. Adrenaline overcomes me in a rush. In no 2 heartbeats, my feet's already moving before any sense can catch up or doubt creeps up to me. My hands are already at the holster as I hastily set off for the far side of the hall. One alarmed footstep after another while struggling to keep that sense of panic at bay. Door lies ajar at the end and coming from the floor above.
She's going to hurt me! Help me!
I do not hesitate. Moving in despite the lack of light, the steep stairs or the thick layer of dust kicking up with my every step. I pause, only a moment upon reaching the top. Then, without wasting a second, I push the door open. She sits in the middle of the room, shoulders hunched, shaking. That Lady Charlotte.
I believe. What was.
It looks like Lady Charlotte. That hair is definitely not Hannah.
Well, yeah.
She sits in the room, shoulders hunched, shaking. Her hands cover her face as she weeps, oblivious to my presence. It's as if she has heard neither my footsteps nor the soft creaking of the door, continuing undisturbed, like I'm standing in at a time far removed from her. She doesn't even flinch when I call out to her.
Hey, are you alright?
Mother, I've done it, Mother. Take me with you, please. I can still hear her. She's here. Help me! Help me, please!
Lately, I notice the blood on her hands. If it's the same one drenching the whole attic, I'd rather not know. How the whole room has ended up like this is the least of my problems at the moment. Even the single human body doesn't have this much blood. So, bodies? The thought sends an unpleasant twinge in my stomach. Does Wright even know about this? He's bad news, alright, but this? This is beneath him. He'll definitely balk at first sight of it. Anyone will. Yet the woman lingers here, unmoved by the sight, letting her sobs fill the room, repeating the words over and over again like a prayer of salvation. To whom? The mess of parchment she has lay on the floor? Just what the hell is happening?
Hey, lady, are you?
The rest of that question never makes it out. I don't even see it coming. Should have been more aware and on guard, really. But there's little I can do when a well-placed blow to the back of my knees makes me stumble.